Hello again, NCAC sports fans, and welcome back to another episode of This Week in the NCAC. I'm your host, Brett Billhart. On this week's show, we'll look at action from across the North Coast Athletic Conference for the week ending on Sunday, October the 21st. To open this week's show, we'll briefly preview the 2012 NCAC Cross Country Championships, which will be contested this Saturday, October 27th, at the College of Worcester's LC Bowls Golf Course. For the sixth time in the past 7 seasons, NCAC coaches have predicted that Oberlin will claim the women's title, while Allegheny was tabbed as the pre-championship favorite on the men's side. You can access the complete pre-championship polls on each gender's homepage on the NCAC website. Individually, 6 of the 7 women's first-team All-NCAC performers from the 2011 championship returned for this year's race, while 3 All-NCAC men's first-team performers from a year ago returned to the field in 2012. Once again, the 2012 NCAC Cross Country Championships are scheduled for this Saturday, October 27th, at the College of Worcester's LC Bowls Golf Course. The men's race is scheduled to begin at 11 a.m., with the women's race following at noon. Keeping NCAC championships on our mind, let's shift our attention to volleyball, where Wittenberg captured its 7th straight and 18th all-time league title after closing out the conference schedule with a perfect 8-0 mark. As league champions, Wittenberg has earned the number 1 seed and the right to host the 2012 NCAC volleyball tournament, which is scheduled for November 2nd and 3rd in Springfield. Beginning in 2012, the NCAC volleyball tournament will be a top 8 2-court format, with quarterfinal matches on Friday, semifinals, consolation semifinals, and final place matches being played on Saturday. In quarterfinal matches on Friday, November 2nd, number 3 Hiram takes on number 6 Ohio Wesleyan at 4 p.m., number 4 Denison squares off against number 5 Worcester at 4 p.m. Number 1 Wittenberg faces number 8 Oberlin at 7 p.m. and number 2 DePaul will take on number 7 Allegheny also at 7 p.m. On Saturday, November 3rd, consolation semifinals will be contested at 10 a.m., semifinal matches at 12 p.m., 7th and 5th place matches at 3:30 p.m., the 3rd place match at 5:30, and the NCAC championship match at 7:30 p.m. More historical information on the NCAC volleyball tournament will be available on next week's show. In addition, Wittenberg freshman Kara Seidenstricker was tabbed the NCAC Volleyball Player of the Week after she led the Tigers to a perfect week and their 7th consecutive NCAC championship. Seidenstricker totaled 27 kills and a .473 attack percentage on the week, to go along with 33 digs, 4 service aces, and 3 total blocks. Let's now shift our attention to the pitch, where we have tight races in both genders as we enter the final week of the regular season. In the women's standings, 7 league squads still remain alive for one of the possible 4 bids into the NCAC tournament, highlighted by Wittenberg, which has gained the inside track for the NCAC title and the number 1 seed in the conference tournament after the Tigers knocked off previously unbeaten Worcester 2-0 on Saturday. Allegheny continues its late-season push toward the top of the league standings after securing a pair of wins over Oberlin and Ohio Wesleyan last week. Gator sophomore Emma Lanuski did earn NCAC Women's Soccer Player of the Week laurels after finishing the week with 4 goals on 7 shots, including a pair of game winners. She authored the first hat trick by an Allegheny player in 12 years in the Gators' 3-1 win over Oberlin, and then banged in the only goal of the match in Allegheny's 1-0 triumph over OWU on Saturday. 8 league matches remain on the NCAC schedule this week, with 4 matches each on Wednesday and Saturday. Fans, be sure to tune into next week's show as we will unveil the 2012 NCAC Women's Soccer Tournament field. In men's soccer, just 4 points separate the top 6 teams in the league standings, with DePaul currently sitting at the top with 17 points. However, with 2 league matches remaining on its schedule, Ohio Wesleyan does control its own destiny to earn the top seed after the Battling Bishops defeated Allegheny 3-0 in Meadville on Saturday. Battling Bishop sophomore Colton Blecker garnered the NCAC Men's Soccer Player of the Week laurels after netting 3 goals and dishing out an assist for 7 total points on the week. He scored the game's only goal in a 1-0 win over Oberlin on Tuesday before notching 2 goals and an assist in the Bishops' 3-0 triumph over the Gators on Saturday. As we head into the final week of the regular season, 4 league matches are scheduled for Wednesday, 1 on Friday, and finally the season will come to a close on Saturday with 4 league tilts. Again, be sure to tune in to next week's show as we will break down the complete 2012 NCAC Men's Soccer Tournament field. NCAC field hockey also enters the final week of the regular season, but unlike the soccer races, the 2012 NCAC champion has already been crowned as DePaul secured its first ever outright league title with victories over Earlham and Denison. As we head into the final week of the season, 4 teams do remain alive for the final 3 spots in the postseason tournament, including Denison, Ohio Wesleyan, Kenyon, and Worcester. NCAC Field Hockey Player of the Week laurels this week went to Oberlin sophomore goalie Carmen Acevedo, who stopped a career-high 18 saves in the Yeoman's 1-0 triumph over Kenyon on Saturday, which did mark the first Oberlin win over Kenyon since the 2006 season. Acevedo entered the game 12 minutes into the first half and shut out the Lady offense that fired 37 shots and had 29 penalty corners. The field hockey regular season will also come to a close with 1 game on Tuesday, 2 on Wednesday, 1 on Friday, and 3 more on Saturday. On the NCAC football gridiron, Ohio Wesleyan maintains the top spot in the league standings with a perfect 4-0 record, while 4 squads are deadlocked in second place with identical 3-1 league marks, including Wabash, Wittenberg, Kenyon, and Allegheny. Allegheny dropped from the unbeaten ranks on Saturday as Wittenberg handed the Gators a 35-6 setback in Meadville. Wittenberg junior quarterback Reed Florence triggered the victory after completing 18 of 29 pass attempts for 263 yards and 2 touchdowns, while also rushing for a game-high 99 yards and an additional score. Kenyon continues its resurgence in 2012 as the Lords traveled to Greencastle on Saturday and picked up their first road victory of the season with a 21-19 triumph over DePaul. The KC defensive unit was led to victory by this week's NCAC Defensive Player of the Week recipient, Colin Sullivan. Sullivan racked up 18 total tackles in the contest, including 11 solo efforts, to go along with a pair of key turnovers that stalled DPU drives. The first was an interception at the KC 1-yard line that prevented the Tigers from possibly tying the contest, and the second occurred on the very next possession as Sullivan forced a fumble at midfield that the Lords recovered. The final league tilt of the weekend saw Wabash shut out Worcester 30-0 in Crawfordsville. The result marked the Little Giants' first league shutout victory since blanking Kenyon 49-0 a year ago, while Worcester suffered its first shutout loss in conference play since November 5, 2005, which was a stretch of 45 games. And finally, Ohio Wesleyan remained perfect overall at 7-0, with a 34-26 come-from-behind victory over Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh on Saturday. OU sophomore tight end Calvin Cagney picked up NCAC Offensive Player of the Week accolades after tying the school record with 16 receptions for 151 yards and 3 touchdowns. 2 of Cagney's 3 scores came in the final quarter, which saw OU score the final 17 points of the contest to seal the victory. This weekend will mark the first time this year that all 5 league matchups, all 10 league teams will be playing each other, highlighted by Ohio Wesleyan hosting Wabash at Selby Stadium at 1:30 p.m. And finally, we'll close out this week's show by taking a look at some of the final golf action of the fall season. Ohio Wesleyan captured its second straight team title after firing a 2-day total of $599 to win the Merrillville College Fall Invitational at Green Meadow Country Club, while Denison concluded its fall schedule by finishing in a 3-way tie for second place at the Manhattanville Fall Invitational held at Hudson National Golf Club. The Big Red carded a 36-hole total of 635 to finish deadlocked in the team standings with Farmingdale State and NYU. And finally, Wittenberg brought its fall schedule to a close at the Golf Week Division III Fall Classic, held at the Sandestin Golf and Beach Resort in Sandestin, Florida. The Tigers finished 16th at the event with a 3-day total of 913. However, the Tigers did get an outstanding performance from this week's NCAC Men's Golfer of the Week award winner, Alex Andrews. Andrews tied for third place at the highly competitive event with solid scores of 75 and 72 in rounds 1 and 2 respectively before blistering the course with a 4-under par 67 in the final round to post a 54-hole total of 214. His 67 was the second best single round in school history, while his combined scores from rounds 2 and 3 represent the third best two-round score in program history at 138. The NCAC fall golf schedule officially comes to an end this week as Ohio Wesleyan closes out competition at the O'Brien Jensen Memorial, hosted by Guilford College at the Cardinal Golf and Country Club in Greensboro, North Carolina. And fans, for up-to-date news, stats, and standings from around the North Coast Athletic Conference, you can log on to our website at www.northcoast.org. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter at NCAC, as well as like us on Facebook. And for the entire conference staff, I'm Brett Billhart, and thanks for watching.